So we'll continue our discussion on how to finish everything you start by John Yaga. So today we'll discuss about deadlines. Okay, it is chapter 5, Rethinking Deadlines. So he actually, first he makes it clear that your emotional relationship with deadlines should be checked. Deadlines are necessary for even small projects, small tasks also. Even something like that, you want to go to bank. You should say, I want to go to bank by 2 o'clock. Something, something like. He says that even minor task, you should associate deadlines. So for first thing, he says that he gives a lot of discussion about how that word deadline comes. Because line makes sense, but death, why death? He says that from dictionary it takes many meanings, and finally he says that one meaning which is meaningful is from newspapers. That is a time by which material has to be ready for inclusion in a particular issue or publication. So deadline is a primarily newspaper context. Okay, because your report has to go next day. Before then he gives a self quiz, which he asks about what he look. Basically, he says that you should have conduct a self quiz and find out how do you relate to the word deadline. When I hear the word deadline, I get angry. I am neutral to deadlines. If a project I am working on does not have a deadline, I will impose one on it also. I consider having a deadline being told what to do. If I were a boss, I would eliminate deadlines. Looking back on when I am most productive, it was tied to meeting a deadline. Okay. Then if I am working on a complex project, even if there is one final deadline, I will create interim deadline to keep myself on track. I have a daily, weekly or annual appointment book planner where I record key deadline I need to consider. I consider a deadline a useful way to prioritize my commitments and time, so I am more likely to get the task done. In the last day, I have to renegotiate the deadline at least once. I like a deadline because it helps to plan and say on. So he says that you take such a quiz and try to identify your emotional orientation to the word deadline. Then actually he says that you should be realistic. One of the important issues is deadlines should be realistic. Okay, unrealistic deadlines beat the purpose of the deadline. Okay, so naturally most of the time in a complex project deadlines will be revised, which you have to take, you have to accept it. The second biggest mistake that is made is when it comes to deadline is it too often deadlines are unrealistic. So this you have to say. The key is to be realistic. Okay. Then he says that breaking the bigger task into smaller tasks manageable and associate deadlines for small tasks is important. Okay. Then he says that first he says an exercise, take 3 projects, top project that you must do that are unfinished, you have to complete it. So for the 3 tasks, you find out the deadlines and then break the task and into smaller tasks and identify the interim deadlines. This is important. And then finally, you give an exercise something like this. Maybe consider your attitude to deadline. Do you love them, hate them, or you indifferent? If deadlines are not for you, especially if you do the kind of work and live the kind of life that you don't need deadline, that's fine. What you will do instead to keep yourself on track? Maybe you do use dates to monitor your progress, but you don't call it a deadline. Use the space below to consider how you track what you need to do, when it needs to be done, as a way of helping us to finish more often within the time frame that we wish. So basically, this is under.